So I was listening to the new Billy Joel song, and I noticed that there were two very clear examples of secondary dominance. What are secondary dominants, and how can you use them in your music? Let me show you. What makes Billy Joel's song interesting to me is the fact that it starts really nice and simple, 1-4-5, followed by a 5 of 6 to the 6, then a 5 of 5, also inverted, to the 5, nice little suspension there. Even that E minor chord right there is pretty interesting. So before we dive into secondary dominants, let me tell you why you'd want to use them. Basically, they add a level of chromaticism to the music because you're using chords that don't belong in the key. If you change the order of the notes, you can have melodies or bass lines that move chromatically. All right, so let's start with the basics. We're talking tonal harmony in Western music here. We have 12 major keys, 12 minor scales. This video will only focus on the 12 major keys. When we play a scale, we assign a number to each note of the scale, also known as a scale degree. These numbers also align with the Roman numerals we assign for our chords in every key. Those are called diatonic chords. Diatonic chords are chords that occur naturally within a given key. In other words, built from notes of the key. Every key has a set of diatonic chords. You'll see that the first chord, the fourth chord, and the fifth chord are major, and then the second, the third, and the sixth chord are minor, and then the last chord by itself is diminished. At some point in your progression, you will arrive at the 5th chord, which is the 5th chord, also known as the dominant. Remember that word. Which then proceeds to resolve to the 1 chord, also known as the tonic, or your home chord. A secondary dominant is when you use a different 5 chord to tonicize a chord other than the 1. The word tonicization is when you treat a chord other than the 1 as your home chord, a temporary tonic. So instead of 5 going to the 1 like it should, you have a 5 of 2 going to a 2. Remember, the sole purpose of the 5 chord is to take you home to the 1 chord. When you use a different 5 chord, it will want to resolve to a different home or tonic. Here are some quick facts about secondary dominants. Number 1, there are only 5 secondary dominants in each major key. Number 2, not only can you use them as triads, you can also use them as 7th chords. Think of it as levels of spiciness within the music. I personally like to use the 7th chord version of a secondary dominant over the triad because it has a stronger pull. And number 3, they're supposed to resolve to the chord they are tonicizing. However, I think it sounds awesome when they don't. For example, when a 5 of 5 doesn't resolve to a 5 and goes to a 4 instead. The 5 of 5 has a nice patriotic sound. Here it is again. I think it sounds pretty cool when it goes to 4 instead of the 5. Check it out. Another good one is the 5 of 4. This is what it sounds like. Here's a 1. 5 of 4. It sounds good when you put the 7th in the bass. Here's the 7th. So put that in the bass. It's also in the Christina Aguilera song, Beautiful. You also have the 5 of 6, the 5 of 2, and lastly the 5 of 3. The 5 of 6 has a distinct gospel sound. John Lennon uses this in Imagine. The 5 of 2 has a funny, old-timey feel to it, sort of like an old Tin Pan Alley style. Five of 3 very strong Beatles-esque sound. Reminiscent of Sexy Sadie. For the last example, I recorded my own version of the Billy Joel song, which highlights a 5 of 5 and a 5 of 6. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please be on the lookout for my next video, which focuses on the secondary dominants in the minor key. See you on the next one.